Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello. Tingnan mo daw yung road dun. Kung gumagana, kung nagaganin daw. Shh. Kita pa mo na. Hello, hello, hello. Di ba gumagalaw siya? Wait lang. Pag malayo ko ba? Pag malayo. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, mic test. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. 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 Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello.
May we request Sheikh Ibrahim Ali to lead us in the invocation? And I think he's unavailable right now. May we
Recording in
request
progress.
Sheikh Aminuddin to lead us in the invocation?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد اللهم اشرح لنا صدورنا ويسر لنا أمورنا واحلل عقدة من ألسنتنا يفقه أقوالنا اللهم ثبت أقدام إخواننا في فلسطين وانصرهم يا رب العالمين اللهم وفقنا لما تحبه وترضاه اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية في الدنيا والآخرة واجعلنا من المسلمين حقيقيين يا ربنا تقبل منا فإنك أنت السميع الدعاء والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem and the Bangsamoro hymn.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, telas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyak ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng pagaw, ay hinatang tulang awit sa pagkayang minamahal, ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na
Secretary, please proceed with the checking of the attendance and certify the existence of quorum for today's session.
Roll call of the honorable members of the BTA Parliament. Abbas Ahmad, Abbas Harun, Abbas Basit, Abu Mujib, Alamia Laisa, Elauden Mosber, Ali Ibrahim, Ali Lanang Jr., Ali Edi, Amuludto Suharto, Aminuddin Abdulaziz, Ampatuan Baintan, Anagatin Susana, Antaw Muhammad Kelly, Arnado Merian, Asnawi Dan, Babaw Ali Muntaha, Malindong Pangalian, Basman An Natarhata, Kandaw Bay Maleha, Dilanggalan Hashimi, Dumama Albasya Ilayha, Ibrahim Ahod, Ismail Suharto, Estino Matarol, Gayak Abdullah, Gera Edward, Haji Abdullah Khalid, Hasim Abdullah, Hasan Hatimil, Iqbal Muhagir, Ismail Rasul, Jajuri Raisa, Jakil Al-Muslimin, Chikiri Al-Bakil, Kahalan Dan Martin, Karon Faisal, Lim John Anthony, Long Benjamin, Long Don Mustafa, Lorena Jose, Makabar Abdullah, Makasalong Marjani, Makatanong Amrosi, Maglangit Tarhata, Malik Hamid, Mantawil Baileng, Mastura Eshak, Matalam Japar Apollo Mikael, Mawalil Amil Bahar, Mendoza Froilin, Mitimbang Michael, Mitimbang Tawakal, Miswari Abdul Karim, Miswari Nur Reda, Mitmog Rasol Jr., Munoz Hussein, Puranon Suwaib, Pakasam Obaida, Pak Abdul Wahab, Pangandaman Nabila Margarita, Parcasio Randolph, Piang Ramon Sr., Ramos Jamila, Salendab Said, Salik Ali, Sanki Ali, Sema Omar Yasser, Sema Romeo, Sheikh Said, Silungan Aida, Sinulinding Kadil Jr., Sulaiman Ali, Tago Paisalin, Tan Nabil, Usman Adsfar, Uto Basir, Uy Oyod Siti Fahani, Yaqub Muhammad.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Mr. Speaker, with 41 members of the Parliament physically responded to the call, we therefore certify the presence of quorum. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
41.
41.
Was the name of MP Suharto Ambuludto included in the roll?
Yes, Your Honor. 41.
With 41 members physically present, 42 now, with the presence of MP Faisal Karon. With 42 members physically present and with the certification of the Secretary General as to the existence of quorum, we will proceed with today's business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat, sa kagalang-galang na Speaker ng Parliament, MP Attorney Pangalian Balindong, to our presiding officer, MP Attorney, Deputy Speaker Attorney Omar Yasser Sema, Deputy Speakers who are present, floor leaders, members of the Parliament, Secretariat, staff, and guests in the gallery. Mr. Speaker, I move that we dispense with the reading of Journal number 2022 22 of September 28, 2023 session.
There is a motion from the floor to dispense with the reading of the journal of September 28. It's been seconded. Hearing no objection, the motion is approved.
I move that we approve Journal number 22 of September 28, 2023 session, subject to style, Mr. Speaker.
There is also a motion from the floor to approve the journal of September 28, 2023, subject to style. Any second? Hearing no objection, the motion is approved.
We move on to reference of business, starting with bills on first reading. We have 5 for today, Mr. Speaker. Please be reminded that these are all private member bills and that every member of the Parliament is provided with a co-authorship request form. Please do submit the same if you wish to author any of the proposed bills, Mr. Speakers. May we request also the Secretariat to please read the number, the title, the authors, and the co-authors of the 5 proposed bills.
The Secretary is directed to read the title, the number, the names of the authors and co-authors of all 5 proposed bills in today's order of business.
BTA Parliament Bill number 256 entitled An Act Instituting the Free Marriage Counseling Program in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, provide for its implementation, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Authors, members of the Parliament, Tawakal Mitimbang, Basiru To, Suway Boranon, Mujib Abu, Muhammad Kelly Antaw, Mosber Alaudin, co-authors, members of the Parliament, Shailay Hadumama Alma, Hasim Edilanggalan, Kadel Sinulinig Jr., Abdul Karim Miswari, and Japar Apollo Mikael Matalam. BTA Parliament Bill number 257 entitled An Act
And establishing a level 1
Level 1 General Hospital to be known as Alim Abdulaziz S. Mimbantas Memorial Hospital in the municipality of Masyu, province of Lanao del Sur, and appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Authors, members of the Parliament, Said Sheikh, Ali Muntaha Babaw, Amrosi Makatanong, Abdowa Makapaar, Basit Abbas, Marjani Makasalong, Nabila Margarita Pangandaman, and Ali Sulaiman. BTA Parliament Bill number 258 entitled An Act Establishing the Bangsamoro Teachers Continuing Education Program
and appropriating funds therefore.
Authors, members of the Parliament, Amil Bahar Mawalil and Rasul Mitmug Jr. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Liza Alamia, Baintan ng Batuan, Don Mustafa Loong, Suharto Ambuludto, Rasul Ismail, Hasime Dilanggalan, and Hamid Malik. BTA Parliament Bill number 259 entitled An Act Establishing the Bangsamoro Learning Recovery Fund, thereby implementing comprehensive learning recovery initiatives for students in response to the COVID-19 pandemic and for other purposes. Authors, members of the Parliament, Amil Bahar Mawalil, Hasime Dilanggalan, Hamid Malik, and Rasul Mitmug Jr. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Liza Lamia, Baintan ng Batuan, Don Mustafa Loong, Suharto Ambuludto, and Rasul Ismail. BTA Parliament Bill number 260 entitled An Act Implementing Agricultural Modernization Strategies in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao to empower farmers and promote sustainable agribusiness growth and appropriating funds therefore. Authors, members of the Parliament, Amil Bahar Mawalil, Hasime Dilanggalan, Hamid Malik, and Rasul Mitmug Jr. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Liza Lamia, Baintan ng Batuan, Don Mustafa Loong, Suharto Ambuludto, and Rasul Ismail.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, we now move to proposed resolutions, starting with proposed resolution number 430. May we request the Secretariat to please read the title, the author, and the co-authors.
The Secretariat is directed to read proposed resolution number 430, including the name of the authors and co-authors.
Proposed resolution number 413 titled
Resolution urging the Ministry of Environment, Natural Resources and Energy to
to apprise the Bangsamoro Parliament on the updated forest cover and water sources of the Bangsamoro region in Muslim Mindanao, BARM. Author, Member of the Parliament, Mainta ng Batuan. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Liza Alamia, Amil Bahar Mawalil, Suharto Ambuluto, Don Mustafa Loong, Rasol Mitbug Jr., Rasul Ismail Tawakal Mitimbang, Japara Polo Mikael Matalam, Michael Mitimbang, Siti Fahani Uy Oyod, Khalid Haji Abdawa, and Basir Utu.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we defer proposed resolution 430 to the Committee on Environment, Natural Resources and Energy.
There is a motion on the floor. Any second? It's been seconded. The motion is approved.
Next is proposed resolution number 445. May we request the Secretariat to please read the title, the authors, and the co-authors.
The Secretary is directed to read the title of proposed resolution number 445, including the name of the authors and co-authors.
Proposed resolution number 445 entitled Resolution Condemning the Senseless Killing Incident of two Maranaos, Muhalidin S. Amer and Jamer A. Ibrahim in the municipality of Pikit, North Cotabato, with the end view of ensuring that justice is served to the bereaved families of the victims. Authors, Members of Parliament, Jamila Ramos and Kadil Sinurindig Jr. Co-authors, Members of Parliament, Dan Martin Kahalan, Ali Muntaha Babaw, Muhammad Kelly Antaw, Abdul Wahab Pat, Randolph Parcasio, Marjani Makasalong, Susana Nayatin, and Basit Abbas.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we treat proposed resolution number 445 as a simple resolution.
There is a motion on the floor to treat proposed resolution number 445 as simple resolution. It's been seconded. The motion is approved.
May we recognize, Mr. Speaker, one of the principal authors, Member of the Parliament, Dr. Kadil Sinulinding Jr.
The gentleman from the special geographic areas is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Auzubillahi minasyaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our Chief Minister Ahud Balawag Ibrahim, Speaker Attorney Pangalian Balindong, Deputy Speakers, Floor Leader, Deputy Floor Leaders, fellow honorable members of the Parliament, and all individuals who are present in this auspicious gallery. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuhu. A pleasant afternoon to everyone. In Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 32, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that whoever unlawfully takes a human life, it is as if they have extinguished the lives of all humanity. Indeed, this verse from the Noble Quran serves as a solemn and resounding reminder of the importance to safeguard the sanctity of human life, promote peace, condemn acts of violence. It also serves as a reminder of our duty to protect our people and ensure that justice is enjoyed by all, upholding human rights and human dignity. Together with Member of the Parliament, Jamila Desimban Ramos, it is with great concern and deep sorrow that we address this grave issue that has plagued our society. Mr. Speaker and esteemed colleagues, the loss of young lives is a tragedy that affects not only the families directly impacted, but also the entire community. These young students with full potential and dreams have been robbed of their future, leaving behind grieving families and shattered communities. Ang tinutukoy po natin, Mr. Speaker, ay ang kaganapan noong gabi ng ika-15 ng Oktubre 2023 sa bayan ng Pikit, North Cotabato, kung saan pinaslang ng walang awa ang dalawang kabataang Moro, Maranao in particular, na kilala bilang sina Muhalidin Amer, 19 na taong gulang, at si Jamer Ibrahim, 17 taong gulang. Ayon sa unang ulat, mula sa kapulisan ng pikit, ang mga nasabing kabataan ay nilinlang patungo sa lugar na pinangyarihan ng insidente sa pamamagitan ng tawag sa telepono mula sa hindi pa nakikilalang mga kababaihan. Sila po ay walang awang pinagbabaril at hanggang ngayon ay hindi pa natutuntun at natutukoy ang mga salarin. Bagamat ang pamamaslang na ito ay nangyari sa labas ng ating jurisdiksyon, sina Mukhalidin at Jamer ay mga Bangsamoro at hindi po natin dapat ipasawalang bahala ang kanilang sinapit. Kaya po ipinahayag natin sa ating panukalang resolusyon ang pagkundena sa walang awang pamamaslang sa kanila at ang pagbibigay simpatiya sa kanilang mga pamilya. We condemn this killing and it has no place in our society. While standing before you today, I would like to take this opportunity to express my deepest condolences to the bereaved families of the victims and urgently calling all concerned agencies such as the NBI, the CHR, the Bangsamoro Commission on Human Rights, the IMPOS, the MILG, and among other investigation and law enforcement officers for their immediate and appropriate action. Mr. Speaker, this senseless killing happened not once, not twice, or not even thrice, but it has been repeatedly occurring. Also, it is worth to note that the similar series of killing incident in continuing horrific attacks on the Bangsamoro people have been spurted out all over the area in the past months and years. This series of killing incidents that transpired in alike areas have remained unresolved and the perpetrators are still unidentified by the authorities and considered at large. Mr. Speaker, we must take a firm stand against such acts of violence and ensure that justice is served to all victims. We must call for a thorough investigation into these killings with the aim of identifying the perpetrators and holding them accountable for their heinous actions. Muli, nais kong ipaabot ang aming taus-pusong pakikiramay sa pamilya ni Mukhalidin at Jamer. Naway bigyan sila ng Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ng sapat na lakas at tatag sa kanilang pagdadalamhati at pananawagan na makamit ang hustisya. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi wa rajiun. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I now move to open the period of interpellation and debate.
There's a motion on the floor to open the period of interpellation debate. Any second? It's been seconded. Hearing no objection, the motion is approved. 1 minute suspension.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to move to amend the previous action on the proposed resolution. The body has agreed to refer the same, and I so move that we refer proposed resolution number 445 to the Committee on Public Order and Safety.
Yeah, the floor has withdrawn the previous motion to treat this as a simple resolution. And we have agreed that this will be referred to the Committee on Public Order and Safety. Any second?
Second.
There being no objection, the motion is approved. Proposed resolution number 445 is referred to the Committee on Public Order and Safety.
Thank you, Mr.
Next,
Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Next is proposed resolution number 446. May we request the Secretariat to please read the title, the authors, and the authors.
The Secretariat is directed to read the title proposed resolution number 446, including the name of the authors and co-authors.
Proposed resolution number 446 entitled A Resolution Congratulating the Republic of Turkey on its 100th anniversary. Authors, members of the Parliament, Shailaiha Dumama Albam, Suharto Ismail, and Marjani Makasalong.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we treat proposed resolution number 446 as a simple resolution.
There's a motion to treat proposed resolution number 446 simple resolution. Any second? There being no objection, the motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move to recognize Member of the Parliament Suharto Ismail to speak a little about the proposed resolution.
The gentleman from Sultan Kudarat, Maguindanao is recognized.
Check. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ladies and gentlemen, today we come together in the spirit of celebration, unity, gratitude. As we mark the anniversary of Turkey, we also celebrated enduring support and friendship that Turkey has extended to the Bangsamoro region. These days serve as the symbol of the strong bond between our two nations. Turkey has been steadfast ally, offering its hand of friendship and support to our community. It is a testament to the power of international cooperation and solidarity. Our gesture today is a simple yet heartfelt way to expressing our gratitude. It reminds us that even in the most challenging times, when the nation stands together, incredible progress can be achieved. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Alaikum salam.
Mr. Speaker, I now move to open the period of interpellation and debate.
There is a motion from the floor to open the period of interpellation debate. Any second? Hearing no objection, the motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, may we recognize Deputy Speaker Nabiltan.
The gentleman from Sulu, Deputy Speaker Nabiltan, is recognized.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Floor Leader. Tanong ko lang po, why are we congratulating them on their 100 years anniversary? What is the significance of that to our lives in the Bangsamoro? Wala lang.
Mr. Speaker, it is also to recognize the vital importance of the international friendship.
Hindi ko tumaring.
Again, Mr. Speaker, to recognize the vital importance of international friendships and cooperation, it's committed to maintaining a strong and enduring friendship with the people of the Bangsamoro of Turkey, Republic of Turkey.
We are one with them in their celebration because we belong to the same Islamic faith. Is that so? what other significance or what are the contributions of Turkey to the Bangsamoro?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Actually, aside from being having a same faith, Mr. Speaker, napakarami na po. Yes, napakarami na po ng tulong nila sa atin. Aside from the scholarships that they have given to us, actually, this year, meron naman po mga students na lumipad papuntang Turkey para maka-avail ng kanilang scholarship, Mr. Speaker. And they've been supporting us in the peace process since then, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Actually, I'm reminded, yes, Turkey is the chairman of the third-party monitoring team. And we have some trade arrangement. I would like to know what is the stand of Turkey in the Gaza issue of Palestine.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I think I'm not in the position to mention what they stand, but as to what we have seen in medias in the past, people are really supporting the people of Gaza and the Palestine. But as to the government, Mr. Speaker, I think I'm not in the position again to...
You are not sure whether the government of Turkey is also supporting, have made a statement condemning the attacks on civilians in Gaza.
If that is the safest statement, Mr. Speaker, then yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Wala na ba akong tanong? Gusto ko lang pasagutin si Toto Ismail sa Kasilaya. Thank you very much. I hope we can visit Turkey and be familiar with what Turkey has to offer us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May we recognize Member of the Parliament, Ali Muntaha Babaw.
The gentleman from Lanao del Sur is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, Madam Floor Leader. Gusto ko lang po suportahan yung position ng kapatid natin who is sponsoring this very important resolution. Please allow me to answer some questions raised by Deputy Leader Napiltan. Deputy Speaker. One, Mr. Speaker, I am a living witness when during the peace negotiation, the Republic of Turkey, under the leadership of President Erdogan, had really helped us to arrive into a peace agreement with the government. Kasi po, talagang commitment nila sa atin ay makapit natin ang ating kapayapaan and then be granted this our fight for self-determination. So, that is one of the answer. When the Deputy Leader asked what the Republic of Turkey has done for us. Number two, it was already mentioned about this scholarship grants. Whenever there is a negotiation, in fact, the Republic of Turkey has been the frontliner in pushing for our peace agreements is our OIC. Lahat po ng ating mga resolution, OIC resolution, Turkey has been playing a very important role supporting our fight for self-determination. Yun lang po, maraming salamat po at I'm registering my support to this resolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the support, MP Babaw. Mr. Speaker, may we now recognize MP...
I think the gentleman from Northern Kabuntalan was
Mr. Speaker, may we
was
recognize
first in his signification of is it
MP Ambuludto.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Madam Lord Leader. Mr. Speaker, I just want to ask a very simple question. And this is very, I think this is very serious as far as I'm concerned. I'm very serious with this question. Are we celebrating, with the celebration of the 100th the first century of the Turkey's Republic of Turkey, are we, the Bangsamoro, celebrating the downfall of the Caliphate of the Ottomanian Caliphate? Kasi the Republic of Turkey was established with the dismantlement of the Ottomanian Caliphate. So are we saying with this resolution that we are similarly celebrating the downfall of the last caliphate in the 19th century, Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, it adds to the scholarly value of this proposed resolution, Mr. Speaker. But I think the intention of the simple resolution is really, really simple, Mr. Speaker, which is to celebrate the 100th anniversary because of the significant milestone of the Republic of Turkey in its history.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, and that 100th century is the 100th century of the dismantling and downfall of the Ottomanian Caliphate.
I will not deny the interpolator of his interpretation, Mr. Speaker, but again, the intention of this simple resolution is to simply congratulate the Republic of Turkey, Mr. Speaker, on its 100th anniversary.
So I respect the historical interpretation of the Lord Leader, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May we now recognize Deputy Floor Leader Jose Lorena.
The other gentleman from Sulu is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Floor Leader. First, I'd like to be... I was supposed to ask the same question as the gentleman from Kabuntalan asked. But adding more, Turkey was divided into many parts during the 100 years, courtesy of colonizers after World War I. So I hope we recognize that, but as already manifested, we are not celebrating that breakup nor the downfall of Turkey, but we are celebrating its 100th anniversary as a Republic of Turkey. But my question is, I know Turkey has been supporting us even in the peace process, not only with the MNLF pressures, but the MNLF peace process. But there are other countries that have supported us likewise. My question is, will this not create some disparity with respect to other countries which has also supported us and which has celebrated their anniversary? Does it mean to say that we are going to support and congratulate all these countries who have supported us in the peace process in equal footing with the Turkey as they are celebrating?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Speaker. I believe that it will. There is nothing to prohibit any member of the Parliament to introduce a proposed resolution congratulating any other jurisdiction or country that celebrates its anniversary or any milestone in its history, Mr. Speaker. It just so happens, Mr. Speaker, that it is indeed the 100th anniversary of the Republic of Turkey that the subject of this resolution has been introduced in this plenary, Mr. Speaker.
Madam Speaker, earlier you mentioned that there were scholarship in schools organized by Turkey in the Philippines in support of our region. Am I correct?
Yes, scholarships, Mr. Speaker.
Unfortunately, I'd like also to disaggregate that because some of the school organized here were organized by opposition parliamentarians of Turkey, and they are already banned by the current president. I hope we will not be associated with all those schools. I just like to put that we recognize the support of Turkey, but only those recognized schools by the Republic of Turkey, just to put on record, because there are schools organized by opposition which have already been banned by Turkey.
Thank you for that insight, Mr. Speaker. Again, this I think goes beyond the subject of the proposed resolution, but I hope that we learn from that insight, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. So I hope we will be given or we will be invited to Turkey because Turkey is historical in the sense that we have Topkapi Palace where the memorabilia of the Prophet and all the Sahaba are there. I hope we can build more good relationship with Turkey and join the authors in this. I'd like to be associated with this resolution. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now move to terminate the period of interpellation and debate.
There is a motion to terminate the period of interpellation debate. Been seconded. Any second. Been seconded. The motion is approved.
Suspension, Mr. Speaker.
1 minute suspension.
Session resume.
Floor Leader, we will finish all resolutions before we go on break.
Thank
for
you.
our break.
Mr. Speaker, I now move to dispense with the period of amendment, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to dispense with the period of amendment with respect to resolution number 446. Any second? There being no objection, the motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, before I move further, may we recognize Deputy Speaker Hatimil Hassan.
The gentleman from Basilan, Deputy Speaker Hatimil Hassan, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support the resolution was framed up. And would like also to state that to thank the Ottoman Empire for the statement or action taken by the Sultan Abdul Hamid II, when he was contacted by the American government. The Sultan said that the Sultan Absolute and all Muslim of Mindanao were under the protection of the Ottoman Empire. However, Mr. Speaker, after the defeat of Turkey, after the defeat of the Ottoman Empire in the First World War, under the leadership of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the Republic Turkey was proclaimed 100 years ago. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, I move for the approval of the resolution without amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to adopt that motion, Mr. Speaker, that we approve proposed resolution number 446, Mr. Speaker.
There is no motion on the floor to approve proposed resolution number 446 subject to style.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
It's been seconded. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, before that, Mr. Speaker, may we recognize MP Kelly Antao.
The gentleman from SGA is recognized.
Sige.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to manifest that all the members of the Parliament who are present are co-authors of this resolution.
Floor Leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I move that we include all members of the Parliament who are present today as co-authors, Mr. Speaker.
Secretariat, take note.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We move on to proposed resolution number 447. May we request the Secretariat to please read the title, the author, and the co-authors.
The Secretariat is directed to read the title of proposed resolution number 447, including the name of the authors and co-authors.
Proposed resolution number 447 entitled Resolution Commending and Thanking the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung for its invaluable contribution to the development of autonomy and peace and development in the Bangsamoro since 2001. Author, Member of the Parliament, Mahintan ng Batuan. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Liza Lamia, Al-Akhir, Suhartan Burugto, Don Mustafa Loong, Rasul Mitbug Jr., and Rasul Ismail.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we treat proposed resolution number 447 as a simple resolution.
There is a motion to treat proposed resolution number 447 as simple resolution. It's been seconded. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, may we recognize the principal author of the proposed resolution, Member of the Parliament, Bayintan ng Batuan.
The gentleman from Maguindanao del Sur is recognized.
Babae po.
The lady from Maguindanao del Sur is recognized. So sorry, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, Floor Leader, colleagues. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. The Konrad Adenauer Stiftung is a foundation founded on the basic principles of freedom, justice, and solidarity, and has made significant contribution in supporting peace to live self-determined lives in freedom and dignity. The Konrad Adenauer Stiftung has been promoting democracy and political institution in the Philippines since 1964. It has been providing grants, technical assistance, and capacity building in the Bangsamoro region, particularly in strengthening autonomy, governance, and political parties since 2001. The Konrad Adenauer Stiftung with the European Union has been in the forefront in promoting the parliamentary and political party system in the Bangsamoro through the programs Democratic Party Development Project and the Democratic Leadership and Active Civil Society Empowerment for Bangsamoro from 2014 to 2022 that raised the capacities of civil society organizations and emerging political parties, including that of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, the Moro National Liberation Front, women, youth, and IP groups in developing principled political parties in the Bangsamoro, and empowered stakeholders and underrepresented groups to transform their interest groups and operate them as functional programmatic political parties. The Konrad Adenauer Stiftung is a consortium, is in consortium with Particip Germany in implementing the support to Bangsamoro transition or Sobatra program that is providing technical assistance in building the foundation for lasting peace and development in the Bangsamoro by strengthening the capacities of its institutions to establish an enabling democratic governance environment during the transition period. Also, the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung has been consistently and sustainably providing trainings and technical assistance to the Bangsamoro policy bodies, particularly the Regional Legislative Assembly of the defunct Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, the Bangsamoro Transition Commission, and the Bangsamoro Transition Authority in fulfilling their mandates in building effective public policies and institutions in the Bangsamoro. Also, the CAS has brought many key program government and non-government leaders in Germany and Europe for study and benchmarking sessions and strengthen international support to the cause of Bangsamoro people and enrich the disclosure and institution building in the Bangsamoro towards effective autonomous and parliamentary system. These are just amongst the many activities and interventions that the CAS had been doing in the Bangsamoro. In light with the upcoming official visit of the country director of the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, I propose that we adopt this resolution commending and thanking the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung for its invaluable contribution to the development of autonomy and peace and development in the Bangsamoro region since 2001. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, floor leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to open the period of interpellation and debate.
There is a motion on the floor to open the period of interpellation debate. It's been seconded. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, may we recognize Deputy Speaker Nabil Tan to be followed by Deputy Floor Leader Lorena, MP Ali, and MP Parcasio, just so I remember, Mr. Speaker.
Sulu is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Madam Floor Leader. will the MP from Maguindanao, Baintan, and Patuan yield to a few questions?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
May I know, Mr. Speaker, what is really the purpose of ano ba to? Extending, paki-plus yung resolution of commending and thanking Conrad Adenauer. What is the valuable contribution that they have given us?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have just enumerated in my speech what they have done insofar as the Conrad Adenauer in the peace and development and in the development of autonomy in the Bangsamoro. CAS has been the partner of the Bangsamoro in various political parties related activities and in building democracy. They have sent many Bangsamoro to capacity building exercises in Germany and in Europe to learn some of their experiences and bring it to the Bangsamoro. And in the light of the upcoming visit of their country director to the Bangsamoro, we hope that we can give something to her during her visit to the Parliament and to the Bangsamoro, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Did I get it right that there were trips to Germany sponsored by Conrad Adenauer?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, there were trips to Germany and Europe, but unfortunately we were not part of it. But the current Subatra program right now being implemented in the Bangsamoro is funded, is one of the programs that being supported by Conrad Adenauer Stiftung, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Madam. In this case, why are we just singling out Conrad Adenauer? There are a lot of international organizations that has been supporting the Bangsamoro region, the Asia Foundation, the many other organizations. Why is there only one organization that we are commending?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The same question I asked before when the JICA resolution was brought in the Parliament. I guess that resolution was meant for the visit of the JICA president to the Parliament. And same is true, there's an upcoming visit of the country director of the Conrad Adenauer Stiftung to the Bangsamoro.
So this is to give some gift for their visit and to encourage them to support us more.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
If that is the intention, I have no more question. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and floor leader. Thank you, Madam.
The other gentleman from Sulu is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, floor leader. I know I have related with Conrad Adenauer Stiftung for a longer period when I was Undersecretary of OPAP. And I know some of their heads, Kraus, Plessley, and many others. My first question is if the gentle lady from Maguindanao would yield to some clarificatory question.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
My question is, how is the funding of the Conrad Adenauer Stiftung source? Is it part of government of Germany fund, or is it a donation from any organization or countries?
I think it is funded by, it is an independent, it is a foundation. It is being funded by some sort of coming from the government, but they are independently working as a foundation, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Am I correct in saying that the Conrad Adenauer Stiftung is related to a political party in Germany?
I believe so, Mr. Speaker.
So the source of fund of the Conrad Adenauer is a quasi public foundation. Am I correct?
Yes, perhaps, Mr. Speaker.
Now, my other question is, in its relation with us, the Bangsamoro, do they consult Bangsamoro members of the government of parliament in the shaping of the programs that they are implementing in the region?
I believe that they have consulted the leadership, Mr. Speaker, because right now we have been implementing the Subatra project with the Deputy Speaker as one of the focal persons for the Parliament and the other program director. So I believe there was an understanding with the government of the day with regards to their support to the Bangsamoro.
So you are saying that the Conrad Adenauer is also part of the European Union funded Subatra program.
Yes,
correct?
yes, Mr. Speaker. The CAS with
I
the
think only participate is of the
in consortium with Participate Germany.
So it's not directly Conrad, but Participate Chairman
Yes,
part
Mr.
of
Speaker.
the Sumatra program.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Now, while for long, I have seen the Conrad Adenauer having offices even in far-flung provinces, but I have not seen their offices now. Are they still active in the delivery of programs to the region, or are they just planning to reopen the program aim offices in our region?
I think they have office in Makati, Mr. Speaker, and they've been implementing programs through their partners, Mr. Speaker.
But they don't directly have an office here in the Bangsamoro.
In the Bangsamoro, they don't have a specific office.
Earlier on, Deputy Speaker Nabiltan questioned about trainings of people going to Germany. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Are they training them for autonomy or for federalism? If you may know,
This is to enrich and the discourse of institution building in the Bangsamoro towards effective, autonomous, and parliamentary system.
if you know, are they supporting national political party in the region, in the country?
Not in their profile, Mr. Speaker. That was provided to me.
So
Mr.
they are
Speaker.
free from any influence from political party nationally, am I?
Yeah, I suppose, Mr. Speaker, because I haven't read anything about that, Mr. Speaker.
Nevertheless, while I have some reservation because of the certain requirements for funding, which we may not be able to utilize fully, because Conrad Adenauer has office in Makati, but for purposes of initiating a dialogue with the country representative who I believe is coming, perhaps the Bangsamoro should prepare so that the menu that they will be implementing should be attuned to the culture and the requirements of the Bangsamoro. Nonetheless, I will support this resolution with the view that will only trigger a discussion between the members of the parliament and the government of the day in Conrad Adenauer, and not just to receive any program that they design for us. Thank you, and I want to be associated with the approval of this resolution. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, may we now recognize MP Eddie Ali.
The gentleman from Tawi-Tawi is recognized.
O pati nga yung organic law, silang nag-print.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Madam Floor Leader. The title of the resolution mentions that Conrad Adenauer Stiftung has been contributing to the nation development in the Bangsamoro since 2001. Whereas number 8, it also mentions again
since 2001. But whereas 9 only mentions from 2014 to 2022. As expressed by the proponent, Mr. Speaker, she mentioned about the programs. And this is reflected in whereas 9. But the title, Mr. Speaker, is since 2001. I would like to find out, Mr. Speaker, if what are the programs before 2014 that have contributed to the peace and development of the Bangsamoro, Mr. Speaker?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you read the 11th whereas, that talks about their involvement since the defunct ARMM, which is the Regional Legislative Assembly, and even the Bangsamoro Transition Commission, Mr. Speaker. And so the reckoning should be 2001, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, if in whereas 11, it does not mention of the program since 2001. I would like to find out specifically, Mr. Speaker, if even during the ARM, what are these programs since 2001? Just a program or programs that started in 2001 so that we can justify even the title of the resolution, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I don't have the Rabi exact programs, the list of programs that they have extended, but that's for sure their exposure to the authority in building effective public policies has started way back before the Bangsamoro BARM government, Mr. Speaker.
Matagal na pala to, since 2001. But anyway, Mr. Speaker, whereas 10 mentions about Subatra. Gusto ko lang po malaman kasi Subatra is meant to strengthen the capacities of institutions during the transition period. If the proponent, Mr. Speaker, is aware, I just would like to find out what are the programs under Subatra that contributes to the strengthening of institutions during the transition.
Mr. Speaker, no less than the Deputy Speaker is the head when it comes to the Parliament.
May I answer that?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I actually would like to ask the Deputy Speaker to specifically respond.
There are three purposes for which Subatra is involved right now. One is for the executive. Second is for the legislative, which strengthens us in our legislation, representation, and oversight capacities. It has also programs with respect to the judiciary and the civil society organizations. It's a three-pronged program. Their involvement in the Parliament is seen in the strengthening of our personnel and our different departments. Mr. Speaker, the support for Subatra, is this cash funded or this is EU funded?
It is EU funded.
Then, Mr. Speaker, what is reflected in whereas 10, it is cash that supports the implementation of Subatra.
It is a consortium.
A consortium with Partnership Germany.
Yes.
Is Partnership Germany is
part of the program. One of the
European Union?
one of the
Partnership Germany.
part of the instrumentalities of this Subatra program. One of the instrumentalities of this Subatra program.
Okay, thank you for that
By the European Union.
Thank you for that clarification, Mr. Speaker. That's all, and definitely I'm also supportive of the resolution. Thank you, Madam Proponent.
However, Konrad Adenauer does not fund Subatra. It only works with on certain programs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Next is Member of the Parliament, Attorney Randolph Parcasio.
We will go to Germany.
Let's go. Kaya nga, ini-sponsor ko eh.
The gentleman from Maguindanao, from Dato Blasins, what Maguindanao del Norte is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will not put any questions, but I'd just like to state my support to this resolution on the basis of my experience with cash since martial law. Yes. Konrad Adenauer Stiftung Foundation. It is true that they have been active in supporting causes for democracy and the discussions of federalism. And not only that, but they have gone from political to supporting in the olden days, we call it social development agencies. Now they call it NGO, and then later on, it has acquired another nomenclature. But I have also been invited in several fora, sponsored and funded by cash, about federalism, about autonomy, about the peace agreement, at the height of the discussions of the negotiations between the MNLF and the GRP, no? In 1996 until its signing. And so therefore, I believe that as Bangsamoro people, we have to express our sense of gratitude for the contribution of Konrad Adenauer Stiftung Foundation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, I would like to state I support this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I now move to terminate the period of interpellation and debate.
There is a motion to terminate the period of interpellation and debate. It's been seconded. The motion is approved.
I move that we dispense with the period of amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Before I act on the motion, I think you should look at the date to which this proposed resolution is supposed to be presented. I believe there will be no session on November 28, 2020. Oh, okay. May session?
Meron po. Third and fourth weeks, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. There is now a motion.
Yes, there's a motion, Mr. Speaker.
From the floor. It has been seconded. There being no objection, the motion is approved.
I move that we approve proposed resolution 447 subject to style, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion on the floor to approve proposed resolution number 447 subject to style. It's been seconded. The motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Moving on with proposed resolution number 448, may we request the Secretariat to please read the title, the author, and the co-authors.
The Secretariat is directed to read the title proposed resolution number 448, including the name, the authors, and co-authors.
Proposed resolution number 448 entitled, a resolution urging all government officials and employees within the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region to obtain driver's license and or renew their motor vehicle registration with Bangsamoro Land Transportation Office. Author, Member of Parliament, Paisalin Tagot. Co-authors, Members of Parliament, Jose Lorena, Rasul Mitmur Jr., Susana Nayatin, Siti Pahani Uy Oyod, Nabila Margarita Pangandaman, Asame Dilanggalan, Omar Yasser Sema, Amir Bahar Mawalil, Asper Osman, Nurreda Miswari, Eddie Ali, Japar Apolo Mikael Matalam, Abdul Karim Miswari, Suharto Ambulutog, Muslimin Jakilan, Baileng Mantawin, Nabil Tan, Marian Arnadong, Suharto Ismael, and John Anthony.
Mr. Speaker, before I move that we refer this to the appropriate committee, Mr. Speaker, may we afford parliamentary courtesy to the Minister of Transportation and Communications, who happens to be the principal author, to speak a few words about the proposed resolution, Mr. Speaker. 1 minute.
This is highly irregular, but we will allow it for today's business.
Why highly irregular?
Because we,
Less than high irregular. Anyway, Mr. Speaker, just minor correction because of inadvertence in the preparation of this resolution. So I seek forgiveness for the persons that was not included as co-author. Number one is MP Din Kahalan of Sulu and MP Baintan Ampatuan. They are not included as one of the author. And as a matter of fact, they are the first to signify to co-author this resolution. So the Secretariat is, Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, be directed to
Secretariat, take note of the
corrections.
Yeah.
To make corrections, Mr. Speaker.
Secretariat, take note of the request of the main author of this proposed resolution.
That's all, Mr. Speaker, and that makes the minor correction not highly irregular. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we refer proposed resolution number 448 to the Committee on Transportation and Communications and the Committee on Local Government, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion from the floor to refer this proposed resolution to the Committee on Transportation and Communication and
Committee on Local Government.
Committee on Local Government. It's been seconded. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move for an ASAR break, Mr. Speaker.
As our break for 20 minutes.
Lawyer,
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. We are now on item 9 under resolutions referred to the committee. We are now on committee report number 47 submitted by the Committee on Rules regarding the proposed resolution number 219 entitled Resolution Urging the Bangsamoro Information Office to devise an information, education, and communication IEC campaign for the electorates of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region on the provisions of the Bangsamoro Electoral Code. May we recognize, Mr. Speaker, the committee chair to present the committee report.
The chair of the Committee on Rules is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable members of the Parliament, I have the honor to report back to the Bangsamoro Transition Authority Parliament the committee report number 47 with the recommendation that it be approved with the amendments as contained in the report. Mr. Speaker, Parliament Resolution number 291, proposed resolution number 291 entitled Resolution Urging the Bangsamoro Information Office or BIO and the Ministry of the Interior and Local Government of MILG to devise an information, education, and communication IEC campaign for the electorates of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region and on the provisions of the Bangsamoro Electoral Code was filed by a member of the Parliament by Intan Ampatuan in April 2023. The measure was referred to the Committee on Rules and subjected to deliberation during its committee meeting on August 18, 2023. MP Ampatuan explained that since the Bangsamoro Electoral Code has recently been enacted and that many parts of the law are new for the electorate, there should be a massive whole of Bangsamoro government approach in terms of information, education, and communication campaign, considering that the elections are forthcoming. Members of the Parliament who were present during the committee deliberation manifested their support for the intent and purposes of the resolution. So this representation also took the occasion to remind the body that the Committee on Rules still exercises post-legislative oversight functions in the implementation of the Bangsamoro Electoral Code. As recommended by Member of the Parliament Tawakal Midtimbang, the MILG is excluded. Instead, the BIO will spearhead the effort as this will facilitate uniformity in the materials. As explained by Member of the Parliament Raisa Jajuri, the development of the IEC campaign materials falls within the ambit and responsibilities of the Bangsamoro Information Office, whose work includes formulating plans and coming up with the processes for formulating messages which is at the core of the undertaking. The IEC materials to be developed can thereafter be disseminated in coordination with the various ministries and agencies using the respective access to the different political structures. So the recommendation is references to the Ministry of Interior and Local Government would be deleted for the title to read as follows: Resolution urging the Bangsamoro Information Office or BIO to devise an information, education, and communication or IEC campaign for the electorates of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region on the provisions of the Bangsamoro Electoral Code. As recommended by MP Eddie Ali, a new whereas clause is added after the final whereas clause to read, whereas ministries and other offices are encouraged to support the dissemination of the IEC campaign led by the Bangsamoro Information Office. The resolving clauses are modified in line with the new title where the MILG reference is removed. So the resolution was approved as amended, subject to style. I therefore present this for approval, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to adopt committee report number 47 for deliberation, Mr. Speaker.
There is now a motion to adopt the committee report. What's the number? Number 47 for deliberation. Any second? Been seconded. The motion is approved.
I move to open the period of interpellation.
There's now a motion to open the period of interpellation. Any second? I'm hearing no objection. The motion is approved.
Mr.
The
Speaker,
Secretariat, you are directed to flash on the screen a copy of the committee report.
Mr. Speaker, may we recognize Deputy Floor Leader Joe Lorena.
The gentleman from Sulu is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Floor Leader. I'd like to advance that I am in support of this, but I have some questions, clarificatory questions that need be answered. So if the Chair of the Committee on Rules is willing to answer some clarificatory questions.
Thank you,
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Chair and Floor Leader. Very recently, we have a discussion with the Commission on Elections of the crafting of the IIR. So, are we going to advance the information campaign since the implementing rules and regulation yet by the Commission on Elections? Are we going to advance ahead?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, the tenor of the resolution is to give the Bangsamoro Information Office the legitimate authority to devise the information, education, and communication campaign. Mr. Speaker, earlier this morning, we also had a meeting with representatives from the COMELEC and the CSO partners that we would like to also maximize during the period of this information education campaign. There is already an agreement, Mr. Speaker, that we will also communicate with the COMELEC and potentially enter into a memorandum of understanding so that the same IECs will be used by the COMELEC and it will be given a badge of authority, Mr. Speaker, so that it could be disseminated, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Floor Leader. Thank you, sponsor. That's just a point of clarification because, you know, understanding the law would be better if you have already the implementing rules and regulation. But since there is already an agreement with the Commission on Election on the manner of conducting the election, then it will do us good. But I would like also to manifest that there are other institutions in the Bangsamoro that could possibly undertake this outside from the IEC, could be done by the formation. There are political parties already organized, and I know they have ground chapters in the locality. Are we foreclosing them from doing an information campaign in difference to the information campaign done by the Information Office?
Mr. Speaker, what we envision is common, uniform, and standard IEC campaign materials or information education campaign materials that will be used that really explains the legislative intent of the Parliament when we were deliberating on the law. So this does not foreclose the possibility that political parties will undertake the same communications campaign, Mr. Speaker, but at least for purposes of the Bangsamoro government, there is a material to be produced that could be communicated to the public, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I think that we can also, as political party members, we can secure our IEC materials from the Information Office.
That is correct,
So,
Mr. Speaker.
and nonetheless, I'd like to be associated with this resolution because 1 year is too short for an information campaign from a new electoral code. So I think there is now need to do an information campaign because many people on the ground are already asking about the approved electoral code. Again, Madam Proponent, Madam Pro-Leader, thank you for clarifying some of those questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would also like to take this opportunity to invite members of the Parliament who have willing chiefs of staff or legislative staff officers to be part of a resource person pool. We need resource persons for purposes of the IEC campaign, Mr. Speaker, and it would be very helpful and would send a message of unity, Mr. Speaker, if members of the Parliament will also partake of this undertaking, Mr. Speaker.
We take note of that. How about the IRR? Will it be included in the IEC?
No, Mr. Speaker, the IEC materials that we would like to develop are only limited to the FAQs and the FAQs on the BEC, Mr. Speaker.
Noted. Yes, Floor Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we move to the next interpellator. We will recognize Attorney MP Bong Parcasio.
The gentleman from Datu Blasin, Swat Maguindanao del Norte is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Will the proponent be accepting some few questions?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
It is true that we really need to educate our constituents about the electoral code because election is fast approaching in 2025. I would like to ask if the Information Office has the capacity to translate the English version of the code into the major languages of the bar.
I believe, Mr. Speaker, that this is something that several development partners also take interest in terms of translating, Mr. Speaker. For the Bangsamoro Information Office, they have relayed to me earlier in our meeting today that they don't have the budget for this year, but probably for next year, Mr. Speaker. So that's also a lookout for all of us when we deliberate on the budget of the Bangsamoro Information Office, Mr. Speaker.
It's a good statement from our floor leader that this will be considered for our budget of 2024. That's all, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Floor Leader, I think there are no more interpellators. We will now proceed to terminate.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, there being no other interpellator, we thank the distinguished sponsor for the committee report and I move to terminate the period of interpellation.
There is a motion from the floor. Any second? It's been seconded. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move to
Amendment. No,
I move to proceed with the period of amendment.
Meron?
Is there? I think there is already the committee report already has a proposed amendment.
Mr. Speaker, I move to terminate the period of amendment.
There's now a motion to terminate the period of amendments. Been seconded. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the approval of resolution number 219.
As amended.
As amended, subject to style, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion on the floor for approval of the resolution subject to style. It's been seconded. And as amended. It's been seconded. The motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I take back the floor.
We proceed to the next in the order of business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next in the order is Committee Report number 48, Mr. Speaker, which is part of the unfinished business, Mr. Speaker. The parliamentary status of this committee report is we are in the period of deliberations, Mr. Speaker. I therefore move that we open the period of interpellation and debate.
We are now in committee report number 48, and its status is period of deliberation. And there is now a motion from the floor to open the period of interpellation debate. Any second? It has been seconded. The motion is approved.
May we recognize, Mr. Speaker, Member of the Parliament Baintan Ampatuan, and also invite the committee chair of the Committee on Basic Higher and Technical Education, Mr. Speaker, MP Eddie Ali.
The lady from Maguindanao del Sur is recognized.
Dito ka.
Hello, Mike.
Meron na.
Pwede na po.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Would the good proponent allow some clarificatory questions, Mr. Speaker?
Definitely, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have two separate questions. One is of general in nature. The other one is specific section to section of the proposed bill, of the bill number 31. First question, Mr. Speaker, although, Mr. Speaker, I know that this question has been raised in one of the public consultations, but for the purpose of understanding in the plenary and of the general public, because not all of them were able to participate in the public consultations, I would ask this not to manifest, but to manifest, I would ask this because I want the general public to understand this. And for the record, Mr. Speaker, I am fully supportive of this bill, Mr. Speaker. So my first question is, since this is Islamic institute or institution, Mr. Speaker, is there are we not violating any part or any provision of the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines?
Mr. Speaker, during the public consultation, there were resource persons from CHED, from the Commission on Higher Education. There were resource persons from the academe, and the state colleges and universities are also offering Islamic studies and Arabic language. And these universities, Mr. Speaker, are using government funds in the implementation of the program. So even the representative from the CHED mentioned that it does not violate the constitutional provision on the separation of the state and the church, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for clarifying that, because basically that has been the question raised in several occasions, and for the consumption of those watching us and to our staff who are here, that is the very answer that we want to emphasize with regards to that particular question. Next question, Mr. Speaker, is that while there is a clear answer that we are not violating any of the provision of the Constitution, then now the next question is, what specific provision in the Bangsamoro Organic Law that drives us in pushing this legislation, Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, if I remember it right, in the declaration of the policies, under education. It mentions that the Bangsamoro government can develop academic programs, even establish institutions on education that will contribute to the development of the Bangsamoro. I think it is. I'm not sure which part of the BOL mentions about the declaration of policy on education, Mr. Speaker, but I'm quite sure that it is stipulated. It is under section 16 with the title of Integrated System of Quality Education. If I may read, Mr. Speaker, it shall be a top priority of the Bangsamoro government to establish, maintain, and support a complete and integrated system of quality education, which shall be a subsystem of the national education system. The Bangsamoro government shall develop an educational framework relevant and responsive to the needs, ideals, and aspirations of the Bangsamoro people. For this purpose, the Bangsamoro government shall conform to the minimum standards set by the national government. The Bangsamoro government shall institutionalize this education in all levels of education. Mr. Speaker, it is stipulated in the Bangsamoro Organic Law.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. That is very important basis, Mr. Speaker, especially the first portion which talks about the Bangsamoro government has the authority to establish complete and integrated educational system. And that is the very foundation or very basis that we are reckoning this bill, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
Okay. The third question, Mr. Speaker, is that this is an higher Islamic studies, Mr. Speaker. When we say higher Islamic studies, do we mean that this is exclusive for Muslims? Is it exclusive for Bangsamoro? Or the curriculum is explicitly just for Arabic language?
It's not, it's the institute, Mr. Speaker, is not exclusively for the Bangsamoro. It is open to Muslims and non-Muslim students, Mr. Speaker.
And is the curriculum all written in Arabic or otherwise?
Mr. Speaker, the curriculum is written in English, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so that's very clear, Mr. Speaker. This is an open institution and the medium of communication is English.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Next general question, Mr. Speaker, is what is the long-term or the end goal of this bill, Mr. Speaker?
The end goal, Mr. Speaker, of this bill, actually we have MMA Act number 164, which is being prepared by this bill, entitled Regional Madrasa Graduate Education Act of 2003. Mr. Speaker, the end goal of this is to have an institution specializing on Islamic studies and Arabic language, which can be a model for the madrasa education in the Bangsamoro, Mr. Speaker.
So we are eyeing a model in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region.
Yes,
through establishment of this institute. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That's very clear to all of us. Okay, and now I will proceed to the specific sections. I have a proposed amendment on section 1, so I forego with that. I'll move to section 2. In the declaration of policies, and normally when we craft legislations, we normally say declaration of principles, or declaration of policy of principles, principles and policies. But in this case, Mr. Speaker, we only say declaration of policies. May I know what is the rationale why we didn't touch about the principles about education?
Mr. Speaker, in the original version of the bill, it did not express, Mr. Speaker, on the principle of education. Mr. Speaker, I think the Bangsamoro Education Code shows the principle of education. And I would assume, Mr. Speaker, that it may not be necessary to express it here because it is already expressed in the Bangsamoro Education Code, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So the rationale of not putting the principles here is it's already enumerated in the Bangsamoro Education Code.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
But my next question, Mr. Speaker, upon scrutiny and upon reviewing the enumerated declaration of policies, only there are three actually in the enumerated declaration of policies that are new. All the rest are copied in the Bangsamoro Education Code. If the premise is we don't want to copy what has already been written in the Education Code, just like what was mentioned in the principles, why do we need to copy again for the policies, those policies that are already enumerated in the back and only add the three? My question actually is, do we really need to enumerate all those policies that are already provided in the Education Code? Or will it serve the purpose if we just put a generic declaration of policy? After all, it's a policy, and refrain from enumerating, because the danger of the enumerations is that if there are things that we will not be able to capture in the enumeration, it is not part of the
bill,
of the policies that we want to convey. So, Mr. Speaker, I actually have a proposal on this, that we just focus on the general policies rather than be selective of copying some of the provisions of the Education Code and adding three new policies, because policies are evolving. Policies respond to the situations. So chances are the evolving policies may not be captured in what we intend to enumerate here. So my proposal, Mr. Speaker, is we just put the first part, which is the generic policy, and remove all the rest. After all, it's already enumerated in the Education Code.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me just explain. Under Article 3 of the Bangsamoro Education Code, it is a general provisions which includes basic, higher, and technical education. While in here, under this bill, we only pick up those that are related to higher education. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, while in the enumeration under Article 3 of the Bangsamoro Education Code includes the other two, basic and technical education, what is copied, if I would use the word, only those policies that are relevant or related to higher education. But Mr. Speaker, should we feel that that we need to simply have general declaration of policies, then in the period of amendment, Mr. Speaker, this proponent has no objection, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next is on the definition of terms, section 3. I observe, Mr. Speaker, that some of the terms used in the definition of terms are no longer found in the body of the bill, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, in the period of amendments, Mr. Speaker, I would propose for the deletion of some of the terms that are included here but not part of the whole body of the bill, Mr. Speaker. Just a manifestation on this.
Mr. Speaker, the proponent has no objection, Mr. Speaker, to exclude those terms which are not mentioned in the bill, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next is on section 4 is no question. Section 5, yes. So section 5 is the location, Mr. Speaker. And we are putting this institute or the current TREM Academy is the location of the institute, the new institute, which is located in Buluan, Maguindanao. And according to the bill, such other areas as may be deemed approved for expansion. Are we looking in the near future the expansion of the institute to the other areas of the Bangsamoro?
During the public consultation and even during the deliberation of the committee, many resource persons expressed on the location and even establishment in other provinces of the barn. That's why it was just to for this reason we made it part of the bill that other places identified and which the board of trustees feel it is necessary to establish, then I think it is the intention of this bill that the institute can establish, can expand to other provinces of the barn, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for that information and for the information of our colleagues in the islands. This is not limited to Maguindanao.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. I go back to section 4 because there's one very material inquiry. Section 4 talks about creation of Bangsamoro Institute. Okay, may we request the Secretariat to please flash just to guide us? Okay. So, creation of Bangsamoro Institute for Higher Islamic Studies or BIHIS. So pinagsama na yung creation and location? Because in my copy it's not, no? Hindi ko alam, bago ito. But anyway, section 4, no. That is very important to me. BIHIS in the municipality of Buluan, province of Maguindanao. I think kung ganito ang framing natin, let's separate the location because Section 4 talks about creation, and the location is another subject. No? Okay. So I'll discuss first the creation. So we have the acronym BHIS. BHIS. So may damit na siya. BHIS. But we are seeing here that herein referred to us as the institute. That means to say, when we talk about the BHIS, in all the other parts of the bill, we will not see BHIS, but we will see institute. Because herein referred to us as institute. Everything that talks about the Bangsamoro Institute for Higher Islamic Studies, it's the institute. No? Mula simula hanggang dulo, institute na ang gagamitin natin. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng herein referred to us as institute.
Tama po yun.
Okay. So, in section 5, instead of using the word institute, we use the word kuliya, which is no longer consistent in the wording that we say herein referred to us as institute. So that we have now institute and kuliya, which may speak of the same meaning, but for purposes of consistency, it should be institute. Do you agree with me, Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, let me just explain the use of the word kuliya, especially in the mandate as we can see. Actually, the original version states that the institute shall be an institution, kuliya institution of higher learning. It was in rewarding of the mandate that it came out the kuliya shall be an institute. However, the institute shall be a kuliya. That's why we define the word kuliya in the definition of terms. Why we use the word kuliya? As part of our intention to strengthen the identity of the Bangsamoro, kuliya is an Arabic term which means an institute of specialized higher education. So, dapat po yan, ang naging sa mandate is the institute shall be kuliya. Naging direct lang po ang paglagay dyan, the kuliya shall be the institute. The institute shall be a kuliya of specialized higher learning institutions.
So, we are retaining the word kuliya after the institute.
Yeah, the institute shall be a kuliya. Ang ibig sabihin po, ginamit lang po natin ang Arabic ng specialized higher institution. Bakit po ginamit natin ang kuliya? In fact, it was MP Kata Maglangit who appealed to use the word kuliya to maintain in the original version kuliya institution. Kasi lumabas na po ito sa Arab News itong bill na to, that we have the Bangsamoro Institute for Higher Studies as the first kuliya in the Philippines. So kaya nga si MP Tata Maglangit really expressed na if it is possible without violating any constitutional provision, then it is for our identity that we have to use the word kuliya. Except that, Mr. Speaker, I would like to correct that it should have been the institute shall be kuliya. Ang dapat nakalagay sa mandate. The institute shall be kuliya of specialized higher learning. Nagkabaliktaran lang po.
Medyo nagulo na kasi
Sige po.
I've checked the meaning of kuliya in the BEC, in the Education Code, and cross-reference with the definition that we use in BTA Bill number 31, and it's not the same, Mr. Speaker. My suggestion is we can retain the word kuliya, but it's either of the two. We define first, then enclose the word kuliya, or the kuliya first, then enclose the meaning of the word kuliya, and not anymore part of the definition of terms because we only use it once. So it's either of the two, kuliya, the English meaning, or the English meaning of open close kuliya.
Mr. Speaker, in the period of amendment, this proponent has no objection, Mr. Speaker.
And my suggestion, Mr. Speaker, is that we use the standard as defined in the Education Code, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And I would like to request the Secretariat to take note of that because I might not be around during the period of amendment.
Okay.
But I am proposing that it should be that way. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Is the Secretariat, did you get it? Okay. But anyway, that will be in the period of amendment, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, I move to Section 8. Section 8. Okay, ayan yung Section 7. Section 7, magkaiba tayo ng numbering. Okay, governing body. Are we not parang tingin ko kasi dito reverse eh. We are defining the Board of Trustees as the governing body. Right?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
So dapat, ang Section 7 talks about Board of Trustees. So Board of Trustees, the Board of Trustees is the governing body of the institute. Diba dapat po ganun? Because we're talking about the Board of Trustees. And herein referred to us as the board. Right?
Yeah,
tama ba?
I would agree. I will agree.
Okay. So kung herein referred to us as board, in all the succeeding sections, it should be board and not Board of Trustees. Na? Would you agree with me, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so parang leading to the proposed amendment na to para malinis natin. So
Section 7.
Ay Board of Trustees.
Board of Trustees.
The Board of Trustees is the governing body of the institute. And herein referred to us as the board.
The board.
Okay.
And all.
Kasi we are talking about the Board of Trustees. Okay. Then let's move to... Wala na ako problema dun sa composition. Let's move to the powers and duties. May I know the reference of these powers and duties of the Board of Trustees? If
Mr. Speaker, I think we got this from the powers and duties of Board of Trustees in other SUCs.
Other SUCs.
In other SUCs. As our reference, Mr. Speaker.
Would you agree with me that one of the major powers and duties of as a board is to formulate and adopt policies and measures?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
For the management and operation of the institute?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
So, would you agree with me that it should be part of the powers and duties?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, in due time, Mr. Speaker, I will propose for
To formulate
amendment.
policies as part of the Opo.
Okay. Then
Mr. Speaker, may I just mention that the powers and duties of the Board of Trustees was taken from Republic Act number 8292. This is the Higher Education Act.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, but we can always tailor fit with the situation that we have.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, would you agree with me that is there a section there that talks about board meetings? Board meetings. Mukhang wala, ano?
I think there's none.
Wala. So would you agree with me that we should include a section that talks about board meetings?
It can be defined, Mr. Speaker. Yes, Mr. Speaker. Board meetings.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. In due time? No, but you can initially set kung ano yung
Kasi
parameters.
may nakalagay sa honorario
Yes.
About board meetings, but there is no
Frequency.
there is no section on board meetings. Yeah.
Okay. So in due time, Mr. Speaker, I will propose for amendment and inclusion of a section.
I think the inclusion of section on board meetings is important. Yeah. We will handle that in during the period of amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Yung section 12, maybe section 11 sa inyo. Is it manner of election or manner of selection?
No, it is manner of election, Mr. Speaker. It is the Board of Trustees that elects.
So there will be an election.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, of the President.
But there's a search committee.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. In all suits, in the election of the President, the board creates a search committee.
A search committee and the Board of Trustees
In shortlist the
will be presented to the Board of Trustees for election.
for election by the Board of Trustees.
Okay.
And the Board of Trustees provide the criteria of election.
Okay.
But the president will be appointed, not elected.
The
Yeah.
president of
The president,
the president is after it has been
so
That's
this,
done the process.
selected.
so this is not election.
Yes, I think it's selection, and the process is selection and appointed by the chief minister. Because even though they elect, because after all, it's the chief minister that appoints it, him or her. So it's the selection process and the appointment. It's not election.
It's in the second phrase, second paragraph. The president shall be appointed.
By the chief minister.
Yeah, after the search committee shall have shortlisted, okay, and presented to the Board of Trustees. It's now the board. It's now the board elects. Okay, the board elects. Yeah, actually the board elects. I'm a member of the board of 8 souks in the barn. We always elect the president of the souk. The term used is election of the president of any state colleges and universities.
Noted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Next is in the powers of the council.
Yeah.
There are enumerated powers of the council. Would you agree with me that there is a need to include the section that talks about the admission of students? For example, no student admission of student. No student shall be denied admission to the institute by reason of gender, religion, and appellations.
Mr. Speaker, regarding admissions, it is already part of the duties and functions of the board to determine the process of admission of students, Mr. Speaker. It is not necessary to be placed it here.
But Mr. Speaker, because this one is a law, and to guarantee that there will be no discrimination because of one's preference of gender, their religious affiliation, and their political affiliations. Can we be strong on this and be specific about this?
I think, Mr. Speaker, it is mentioned in the declaration of policies, Mr. Speaker, of admissions of students without prejudice to sex, religion, and other considerations.
And that is because, Mr. Speaker, I am proposing that some parts of the declaration of policies will be deleted because we have enumerated and copied the declaration of policies as provided in the education code.
Mr. Speaker, other duties that the board may come up with, no? Depende na po yun sa board. Kaya halimbawa lang, not everything is provided even in the charter. Like here, this bill, not all the policies are provided in the bill. We leave it to the Board of Trustees, we leave it to the Board of Regions to determine, to come up with policies when it is necessary, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, but this one, Mr. Speaker, is a strong message that because this is an Islamic institute, and we should be very clear that everybody has the entitlement to be part of it if they want to, and therefore it becomes one of the sections of the bill that no one should be denied of their right to be part of this institute if they want to. And we should be very explicit about this, Mr. Speaker. And that's why I am proposing for a very specific section that talks about admission of the students, Mr. Speaker. And I leave it to you because you are the proponent. I am just proposing an additional section with regards to that. And just for the record, the intention of the bill is that we want to accommodate all those students who will want to join this institute. My last point, Mr. Speaker, is additional provision that talks about mandatory review of the bill, of the act later on. Would you agree with me that anything that we see right now might be different 10 years from now, and therefore we need a review to determine what are the possible measures that can be done by the parliament, the upcoming parliament, in order to address issues during that time, Mr. Speaker? Would you agree with me that we need that provision?
Mr. Speaker, I don't feel that there should be a provision on the review of the bill or on the review of the law. We leave it up to the parliament. When it is necessary that they need to amend, then I think when that time comes, it is the responsibility of the parliament to amend any law that will be passed by this Bangsamoro Transition Authority, Mr. Speaker.
But Mr. Speaker, can we not be proactive and exercise our own duty right now? That right now we know that this is not perfect. And 10 years from now, we know that many things have changed so that we will not be remiss of our obligation, that we were not able to see all those things that we need to consider.
Mr. Speaker, may I just mention, Mr. Speaker, there are, even the University of the Philippines, even the Mindanao State University, after 65 years, after 70 years, then Congress may even file a bill amending the charter of the university. Mr. Speaker, I do not like to entangle. No, I do not like to tie the Parliament, by placing provision on the review of this law. It is the responsibility of the Parliament, as I have earlier mentioned, Mr. Speaker, to review any law passed by this authority, Mr. Speaker. So this proponent, Mr. Speaker, cannot agree to tie the future Parliament, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
I think, Mr. Speaker, at the national level, they have so many bills, they have so many laws that were passed, Mr. Speaker, and I guess comparing it to the one that we have right now, which is already our obligations, and we saw already what are the needed requirements 10 years from now, but we will not include it. I think siguro, because personally I am a planner, I know what will happen 10 years from now is different from what we have right now, so that I am very proactive to what will happen. But we as a Parliament, we can do. Actually, in fact, in many bills that we have already passed into law, we have included the review, the review of the laws that we pass. So I don't know if this is exclusion to what we have been doing in the past. So, but I leave my case, as a planner, I know that we need to review this bill, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, let me just express that without placing a provision on review, that does not mean an exclusion to review this bill. But Mr. Speaker, let me just also express that this proponent is open to any amendment at the period of during the period of amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, the next to interpellate is Deputy Speaker Paisalin Tago.
The gentleman from Lanao del Sur, the Deputy Speaker and Minister of Transportation Communication is recognized.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker and the floor leader. Kung mamarapatin ng proponent ng panukalang ito, may clarificatory questions last, Mr. Speaker. If the proponent will...
I yield, Mr. Speaker.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker. Ang tawag sa bill na ito, bihis.
Bihis po.
Kaya kailangan magbihis tayo. Bakit pinalitan ng REMA to bihis? I suppose, Mr. Speaker, this is the foundation of this bill. It's an amendment of REMA bill. So what is the main essential distinction of the REMA law and this proposed bill? If the proponent knows it.
Maraming bagay po, kung bakit yung REMA naging bihis po para mabihisan po ang REMA. Unang-una po dyan, gusto ko lang po bigyang diin. Sa ngayon, ang REMA po ay lahat po ng empleyado diyan ay contract of service. Galing po sa presidente hanggat doon sa clerk, contract of service po. Kaya isa po yun sa dapat baguhin. Okay. Doon lang po sa personal services. Ganun na po kalaki ang problema. Kaya pagdating naman po sa administration and
I'm sorry to cut you. Secretariat, please maintain the
Flashing.
the
flashing of the
maintain displaying the text of the law of the bill.
Bakit po pinalitan natin ang REMA sa bihis po? Ang dami pong pagbabago na gagawin dito sa REMA na to. No? Kagaya ng sinabi ko, isa na dyan yung administration and governance po. Yung empleyado. Pangalawa po, ang REMA, while it is a graduate madrasa education, they even offered basic education. Nung andito pa po si former MP, Toy Mangandato, hanggat wala na po siya, palagi po akong tinatawagan doon sa mga problemang yun. Kaya ang daming baguhin, no? Kaya pinalitan na po, no? Pinalitan na po natin ang REMA dito sa bihis na to. Pagdating po sa faculty and administrative staff, ang mga instructors po sa dating REMA do not possess necessary qualifications to teach. Pagdating po sa admin staff, they are not covered by civil service rules and regulations. Ito po yung mga bagay na galing sa governance, galing sa papuntang administration, papunta sa curriculum development and implementation. Pagdating po sa employment ng faculty pati staff, nagiging problema po ang REMA. Kaya the intention is to amend or repeal, the REMA law at come up with this BHIS law.
Speaker, I'm not concerned of yung walang swelduan. What's the purpose of this bill, yung pag-create ng this bill? The purpose of this bill, the primary concern of this bill is to teach Arabic studies, in which I agree na kailangan mayroong institute for the Arabic studies. Is this the purpose of the bill?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Bahagi na po ng dapat sa pagbabago, sa pagkakaroon natin ng BHIS po.
Up to what degree doon sa Arabic studies? Mayroon ba siyang Sanawi course?
I think dito from the undergrad hanggang sa graduate po.
From the undergrad, no? From the elementary up to Kulia. Because Kulia is college.
Yes, college hanggat graduate program na po.
Hanggang college.
College.
Ang curriculum ba na ituturo dito sa institute na ito ay purely Arabic lang o may halong English education? Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, halo po. Kung meron po sa mga courses no na iniisip kaya tinitingnan, hindi lang po yan yung Islamic studies on finance, banking, economics, pati na po sa agriculture, agronomy, and engineering, petroleum kasama po.
Sa on English education.
Yes po. Yes.
Kasi sa Arabic studies din, in Arab countries, meron din silang mga course ng mga engineering, agriculture.
Yes, right. I agree po, Mr. Speaker.
Pangalawa, Mr. Speaker, gusto ko mayunawan yung kanina na pag-usapan yung structure ng institute na ito. It is governed by a board of trustees. That's right, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, as a governing board, Mr. Speaker, it is the board of trustees.
And the board of trustees appoint the president?
No.
Mr. Speaker?
As I have explained kanina po, the board of trustees, when the time comes for the search for president, the board will come up with its guidelines on how to elect the president. And once it has been chosen by the board, as shown also kanina, the chief minister will sign the appointment of the president po.
So, dalawa, Mr. Speaker, structure sa nakikita ko, it's used from the proponent. Mayroong governing board, mayroong executive body. There is a governing board that select or elect the president to be appointed by the president, and this president is the one executing the policies of the board. Is that right, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the president is the administrator of the House, and he is elected by the board, and he is also a member of the board.
And he's the one who appoint all officials.
No, Mr. Board, the appointing authority. The appointing authority, Mr. Speaker, lies with the board of trustees.
Pati yung clerk, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. All appointments is with the board of trustees.
So, manggagaling lahat sa board of trustees?
Yes po, Mr. Speaker. The president brings it to the board for approval of the board, Mr. Speaker.
To be recommended by the president?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. The authority is with the president of the institute, Mr. Speaker.
I notice dito sa membership in the governing body, the Minister of the BTA, Director General, President, at least because they are organic to the BARM, this Minister, Director General, Chairperson, Mufti, ano yung tinatanggap nila? Salaries o honorarium?
Honorarium lang po during meetings po.
Who pick the amount of the honorarium?
It is the board of trustees po.
It is the board of trustees, pero walang limit.
It's not walang limit po, no? Ako bilang member of the board of 9 state colleges and universities in the BARM, mayroong nagbibigay po ng 5,000, mayroong nagbibigay ng 4,000, mayroong nagbibigay ng 3,000. It depends po upon the capability of the institute po. Sila na po, it's the board of trustees that determine how much can be given as honorarium. Board meetings lang po yan. Not monthly, but during board meetings.
Saan nila kukunin yung honorarium, Mr. Speaker? It will be given by the BARM government, or it will be taken from the income of the institute, Mr. Speaker?
It is part of the budget of the institute.
Part of the budget.
Yeah. But the income can be also utilized by the institute. And when the income shall be utilized by the institute, it should also be approved by the board of trustees. The utilization of the income should be approved by the board of trustees.
Board of trustees. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I understand this is a public school institution.
Yes, Mr.
Institution.
Yes, Mr.
Kung yung mga nag-aaral dito ako medyo concern eh. Yung mga nag-aaral dito, magkano ang babayad nilang tuition fee?
Nakalagay din po yan, Mr. Speaker, sa sa powers ng Board of Trustees to determine how much tuition that will be charged. Pero tandaan din po natin, Mr. Speaker, is itong institute na to is a sub-system of higher education ng Pilipinas. So kung mayroong batas po, halimbawa sa ngayon, it is free education hanggat college, then the institute shall also be providing free tuition fees, but to be paid by CHED. So pareho din po yan. Baka
that is my understanding, Mr. Speaker. Nung nakita ko na talaga sila ng mga fixed tuition fees, ang pagkaintindi ko, libre. Ang pwedeng bayaran nila dahil ng mga ibang state universities, yung fees.
Right po.
So yung pagbigay ng tuition fee ay sa palagay ko hindi na nararapat because this is a public institution. Kasi it is not a semi-public school that it can charge tuition fee rate. So kung mamarapat ng proponent ng panukalang ito, we have to eliminate yung pag-charge ng tuition fee kasi with due respect, ay natin alam sa in the future maging governing board ay baka taasan nila yung tuition fee. And the purpose of establishing this is to help the indigent youth na makapag-aral sila ng sapat na kaalaman sa Arabic studies, Mr. Speaker. So, dapat, Mr. Speaker, walang kaukulang bayad sa tuition fee. We can be charged of what you call this, of the miscellaneous fees. Yeah. I read also in the section yung the board or the institute shall be under the direct supervision and regulatory powers of the ministry.
Yes, Mr.
The Ministry of Higher Education. Anong ibig sabihin nito, Mr. Speaker?
Unang-una po, Mr. Speaker, the chairman of the Board of Trustees is the minister himself. So for regulatory purposes po, the institute should be under the supervision of the ministry. In like manner, Mr. Speaker, while SUCs have their autonomy, but the chair of the board is still the chairman or the head commissioner, Mr. Speaker.
Ang nire-refer natin to, Mr. Speaker, na institute is the board or is the executive body?
The institute, Mr. Speaker, is
the board and executive body.
Is the BHIS, no? The board itself is the BHIS, yeah, itself. The governing board is the Board of Trustees.
Yes, but the institute is the entirety of the BHIS.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker. So, it is under the direct supervision and regulatory powers. Ibig sabihin, the minister of the Ministry of Physical and Technical Education can it overrule the decision of the board?
No, Mr. Speaker, because the minister himself is the chairman of the board.
Yes.
So, the purpose of regulation by the MST means that the policies that will be developed or formulated by the Board of Trustees should be also in accordance with the policy of the ministry po.
So, dapat magkapare yung policy ng board at saka ministry. Should not be against the policy of the Ministry of Basic Higher Education.
Definitely, definitely the chairman of the board will object to any proposition from any member of the board if it is not in accordance with the policy of the...
I could agree, Mr. Speaker, on the word direct supervisions. But the word in regulatory powers, it means the minister can regulate the powers of the board. So, with your respect, we are taking care of the future, like now. It might clip the powers of the board, the minister. Yeah, ayun lang, may reservation ako dun, Mr. Speaker. Then, lastly, para marami talaga, maraming nagsisignal. Regarding the appropriations and the termination of employees, sinabi mo kanina, Mr. Speaker, sinabi ng proponent, na all the employees of the Rima Academy are contract of service. Ngayon, nakasad dito na yung matatanggal sa Rima ay bibigyan ng separation pay. Hindi ma-absorb. So, how can that be? Yung contract of service, bibigyan ng separation pay? Pwede ba yun?
Mr. Speaker, whatever will be, that should be in accordance with existing laws, Mr. Speaker. This was raised, Mr. Speaker, during the committee meetings. How can a contract of service can be paid of their services? And many said no. But if I remember it right, the vice chair.
No, the answer is no.
The answer is no.
Kasi nakalagay dito, if I may read it, Mr. Speaker, all affected personnel of the Rima Academy will not be absorbed into the new staffing pattern of these, whether held on a temporary, casual, or contractual basis shall be entitled to applicable retirement or separation benefits.
Mr. Speaker, this proponent, Mr. Speaker, is open for any amendment during the period of amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Lastly, Mr. Speaker, on the appropriation side, bakit, Mr. Speaker, with your respect, bakit walang nakalagay na appropriations?
Wala akong nakalagay na appropriation, Mr. Speaker, for 2023 kasi kasama na po yan sa budget ng ang budget for 2023, Mr. Speaker, ay kasama po sa
Rima Academy, no? Magkano ang budget ng Rima Academy for 2023, Mr. Speaker?
The total is 20,367,390 pesos po. 4.9 million is capital outlay. MOE is 15,467,390 po, Mr.
It is very difficult to establish an institute na 20 million ang budget. I said is na we pick a budget, depende sa members of the parliament, the budget for this academy. Because as stated earlier, this is a government of the part of the tier 1. Priority legislation of the government of the day.
For
tier 1. This is tier 1, no?
Yeah, tier 1 for BTA 2, yes po.
This is a milestone legislation for academy Arabic students, Mr. Speaker. So I suggest now we pick a budget for this and we support it in the budget deliberation. That's all, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
Next, Mr. Speaker, is Member of the Parliament Adsfar Osman.
Yeah, he will be the last interpellator for today.
Yes, last interpellator for today, unless
Who? Okay, I will yield to that.
Thank you, Madam Floor
The
Leader.
gentleman from Sulu is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May we seek permission from the proponent if we can ask some couple of questions.
Definitely, I yield, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The purpose of this institute is to offer a kuliya or college degree or a postgraduate degree for Arabic and Islamic Studies.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, baccalaureate and post-baccalaureate, Mr. Speaker.
who are those, Mr. Speaker, who are those expected enrollees of this institute? Where they are coming from?
Mr. Speaker,
I mean the institution that they are coming from.
Mr. Speaker, there are so many, I think, madrasa, and I think they are part of those who will be joining or will be enrolling in DBHs, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For purposes siguro of continuity from basic, secondary, and higher educations. Especially nowadays, the Department of Education, we have this record of the child, the learners. We have the numbers. What's that? The number of learners.
40 very
exclusive number of that learner, specific learner. I mean the school children. Are we going? Do we have this continuation? Can they cope up with the what's this? With the curriculum that this institute can offer?
Mr. Speaker, the institute does not offer basic education, no?
Yeah, that is, Mr. Speaker, the understanding is the institute is just offering a college or college degree or postgraduate degree.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And our expected, if I may understand, our expected enrollees for this institute is graduate of
high schools
from our secondary institutions.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Are they already enough to have to cope up with the curriculum that we are offering in the kuliah, the college Arabic as a college institute?
Mr. Speaker, like other state colleges and universities which offer Islamic studies and Arabic language, Mr. Speaker, the students come from the high schools. So even at present, Mr. Speaker, the REMA is having enrollees, so many enrollees din po. So,
we understand, Mr. Speaker, but in UP or in Mindanao State University, as my mentor also part of each of us part of that institutions, we only offer Islamic and Arabic studies, and does it mean that the institute will offer, for example, the alif ba, the lugha, for the basic, like we are giving in MSU the Arabic 1, studying the alif bata or lughatul Arabiya in the institute? Because my expectation, this is a college an Arabic college of higher learning, and how we are going to offer a basic Arabic educations which should be taught in grade 1 or in madrasa. Because there are graduates, Mr. Speaker, from the secondary schools that who cannot even read Quran, who cannot even speak basic Arabic. In how we are going to accommodate them in this higher education of madrasa? I mean, of this kuliah.
Mr. Speaker, part of the undergraduate courses that will be offered will be on languages. That includes already Arabic. And we have general education. We have special education. And on Islamic studies, we have finance, banking, economics, Sharia, halal science, talbiya, luga, dawa, then even history, Islamic studies, Mr. Speaker. And for the general one, we have petroleum engineering, we have mechanical engineering, and even fisheries, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But I want to know and understand the noble purpose of establishing this institute is to afford our people the Kuliah degree in Arabic and Islamic studies. Not, I think this is the intent of this bill, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, but even the Islamic University in Malaysia and Pakistan also offer other courses. But I would agree, and that is the intention of this bill, Mr. Speaker, that we specialize on Islamic studies, Mr. Speaker.
Think we will suspend until tomorrow? Session is suspended until 1 o'clock tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.